Hello to our viewers, I'm Martine Fuchs. I have a special guest today, it's Doris Leach. She's one of the leading experts in interior design and she will tell us how we can transform our home into a beautiful, cozy place to be. Hello Dolores.
Hello, good evening.
I'm really pleased to be here with you and that you share your time with us.
Thank you.
And you can look back on 30 years of interior design. So what would you say are trends which have come through all the years on your way and still are, now trends too?
I think trends come and go, but the important thing is the harmony in the house. You have to feel comfortable and you have to change things as you go along, but I think the harmonious point is the best. Just to change it for the sake of it, I wouldn't advise that because it takes away your own personality.
Yes.
You know?
Would you agree with me that you say individuality is more important than the latest trend?
In my eyes, yes, it is, because you're the person who has to live in this house, and you have to feel at home and comfortable. If it looks like a show house, you know, straight from the pages of some magazine, it may look all right, but you mightn't feel happy in it. You know, you don't get the harmonious living and feeling in it. So I think it's important to make it your own, to put your personality into your space. Yeah.
Great. So when you're entering a house or a flat for the first time, is this a special moment for you?
Absolutely, yes. It's either good or bad.
So what do you notice first then, or what do you look for first?
Well, if I go to somebody's house, I kind of sense what kind of person this might be. And once you have a conversation with that person, you realize what they're trying to achieve, but haven't quite managed to do. And my job is to point her in the right direction, so she can see, or he, what the problem might be. It's not a good idea to put my whole heart and soul, what I like, into somebody else's house. That's not the point.
So when you enter this room or space, is this like a process? Would you say that you get a first impression how this room can look like, or the potential of the room?
Yes, I can see that. The first thing for me is how I would do it if it was mine. It doesn't matter where I go. It could be a church, it could be a hall, it could be a hairdresser's. If I were to live there, it's automatic. What would I do here? You know, that's always the first thought. And then I have to think, well, it's not mine. I can't do that. So you have to be more. You have to focus more on the client, what they would like, and you know, you have to ask questions and find out what kind of person is this person, what they're trying to achieve, and help them along. Yeah.
So then the next steps, when you have the first talk to your clients, you have visited the space, the house, the flat. What are the next steps in your job?
Well, I then would go home. I take some pictures maybe of the areas, maybe make a little sketch. Find where the windows are and the doors, and then go home and think, you know, think about it, maybe look in some book to get inspiration, find the right kind of colours somehow, and make a lovely board, which I then take to my client afterwards and say, look, this is what I have in mind, these kind of colours, those kind of textures, and so on. And then a client will go say yes or no, or I like this, or I don't like that. And then you go from there,
Okay, great. So what are the most important key elements in your business when you talk later on to your clients? When you create or decorate a room, what are the 3 key elements you always use?
Well, it's shape and form and scale, of course, colour, lighting, and continuity in the space. I think that's important to create harmony. And various ways you can do it. You can go with the flow. You can go with what is the trend, or you can do the absolute opposite and be the extreme different, the other part. You know, it depends on a person.
So, and these are the points you also would recommend to people who view us today.
Yeah.
So that they should take these 3 key elements, like you say, form, scale, color, light, and that they shape their home out of these 3 points.
Start in a simplistic way, very simple, and then you can always add things later when you feel like it. It's not good to buy everything in one place and then just put it somewhere, you've got it. It mightn't be necessary. It's always best, I think, to start with little and try it out. And you come through the door and you look at it, and what you see first, the first glance in a room is what your friends and what you see every time. So that the focus point has to be there. You have to be aware what you see and what you want to be seen, and that is the first glance. And in this space, everything develops. You know, keep your television away, and if possible, if you have a fire or a picture or a nice chair or whatever, something has to be the focal point.
Wonderful. So when we go deeper into the house or flat, we will have a look to the different areas. So like a living room. So what would you recommend for a living room? It's a place where all the family members normally meet. So what would you recommend how to decorate a living room, or what's important there?
Again, it depends on the size, of course. If you have small children, there might be a corner where the children have their stuff, which is away from when you come into the room. There might be, well, I think it is necessary to have a point where the whole family can sit. And it doesn't have to be next to a television, you know, somewhere where everybody can sit, maybe have a coffee, can talk. In England, it is mainly around a fireplace. This is the focal point where everybody feels good. You watch the flames in the winter. You have music on. So, but every room has to have a focal point of some sort.
Yeah.
And once you have that, everything builds around it. I mean, you might have an office in a corner somewhere. Or you might have, you know, some people have a kitchen in a living room. You never know.
Yes, okay. So for me, the next most important room is the sleeping room. It's a place where you rest, where you should have a healthy rest, I always say. And in my consultations, once I also discovered a washing machine. So I was really excited about this. So how would you say, what is important for decorating a sleeping room or making a cozy sleeping room?
Yeah, that I think lots of people don't spend enough time and money on it because they think, oh, nobody can see it anyway, it's just mine. And I think that's a mistake, because a bedroom it's a private area where you should regenerate yourself, you should sleep well, with or without a partner. You know, you want a place where the colors are right, where it's comfortable. I think, and you don't need to spend a lot of money on a bedroom. You know, you have a comfortable bed, and some nice colors, good lighting at night. You don't need to spend a lot of money on it, but you should not treat it as a little room somewhere where you keep your broom or your washing machine. I think that is wrong, because it's not good for your psyche. You know, you need to have something which is you, and you sleep well. You know,
yes,
that's important.
Right. So when we go further on, then we have the dining area, we have the kitchen. Are there some specific points we have to take care of?
Well, in my experience these days, life is in the kitchen and the dining room. That's where it all happens. Most friends, I think, gather in the kitchen and then hang around in the kitchen and dining area. So I think it has to be comfortable, and as I say, gemütlich.
Yes.
in this that it has to be a place where you just want to be, and it doesn't have to be too perfect.
Yes.
You know, mix and match as you like. You make it as comfortable as possible.
Okay.
And again, you know, keep it not too full. Don't fill it up too much. Which is, you know, I tend to do that occasionally. And once a year I have a big clear out and it all has to go again.
Okay, great. So when we think about staging a home or decorating a home, one thing is coming up here in Germany now very strongly. It's about home staging. So when you want to sell a home, you are keen now to prepare it, to decorate it nicely so that you have more success selling it. Is it something common in UK too? Is it?
Yes, it is, especially in the last few years, where it is not as easy to sell houses as it used to be, and sometimes houses don't sell for years. And then you get if you get somebody in here looks with their own eyes for the first time, you have a different idea of what is right and wrong. And if somebody comes in here as a buyer, and they can tell you what is the thing you want to change, what appeals to people and what doesn't. And I think it's well worth the investment to actually get somebody to help you, to look at the same space, you know, with fresh eyes.
Yes.
I think that's important, yeah.
Okay, great. So, and there's another question I was really keen on asking you is, when we have a look on interior design for offices or for companies, would you say that the right interior designing or decorating in your office or in a company suits the success of the people or in the company?
Oh, definitely. I think people behave better and work better and are healthier if the surrounding area is harmonious and they can feel. And if, again, some offices are terribly old, the colours aren't right, people are often ill.
Yeah.
And it's often the case that they don't go to work, they just stay home instead. And if you have a harmonious surrounding, like at home, if that's in the office, people feel better, work harder, and have better success.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Great. So we also can say that a successful living is shown in your interior design at home anyway. So
yes.
It's a mix. And
yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think it transmits to other people who come to the house. They feel good. They're going to be comfortable. They can sit down and don't have to think, oh my God, you know, I can't sit on this chair because it's all too perfect. It has to. There has to be a happy medium.
Yeah, great. So for a last question, what is your final tip for our viewers?
Well, I think less is more is a good mantra, because lots of people, and I include myself here, tend to accumulate and accumulate more. And you have to go through your house once a year and say, that's enough, now we don't need this anymore. Okay. Get rid of it, put it in your cellar, or give it away, or keep it for later, or hire a warehouse or something and keep it there.
Great. So clutter clearing is something that you really recommend by heart.
Definitely, yeah.
That's fantastic. I really like it because I recommend it to my clients always too, and I always practice it on my own.
Yeah,
so thank you so much for sharing your time with us and for
You're
these
welcome.
Wonderful tips. And I will say thank you to our viewers too, and I am sure you enjoyed it and you will have something to do at home now. So if you want to learn more about interior designing, watch our website and look out for the next episode of Space for Success. Thank you very much.